let's get into the world of animes. Alright. So, High School of the Dead, do you remember it? Do you remember High School of the Dead? I remember one clip in particular with a lady that is avoiding the bullet of a sniper. If you know this, you are a connoisseur, and you probably were like, huh? What the fuck is this? Mm. So yeah, High School of the Dead, a review, like, I'm actually curious. Like, let's check it out.
Review of High School of the Dead, an anime about zombies. It's Japan's first take on the zombie apocalypse genre following a group.
Yeah, basically, the to summarize this anime, hot schoolgirls against zombies. Yeah, a couple cool dudes.
Of survivors battling the vast army of the undead with a cast of highly trained supermodels, complete with over-the-top, balls-to-the-walls, physics-breaking action as if the whole thing was programmed in the fucking Matrix. Speaking of the Matrix...
What are you trying to tell me?
Yeah. Oh. In a certain way, it is kind of like a Tarantino kind of take, but it's really, just because like it's so over the top action, but it's like you really ask yourself the question, what the fuck is going on and how the fuck? But it is more stupid though.
That I can dodge bullets.
Here's the scene. Here's the scene that I talked about. Why?
At this point in time, the zombie genre is a concept that has been done to death in the Western media, invading movies, comic books, video games, and even novels, where it's got to the point that all you need to do to advertise something is slap some zombies in it, and the thing will sell out as if it came with complimentary biscuits and blowjobs. Surprisingly enough though, there hasn't really been any anime centered around the zombie apocalypse, even when the medium of anime gives the Japanese the chance to play with new and original takes of existing genres, or explore imaginative settings that couldn't have been presented in any other medium, which would have been perfect for a reimagining of the zombie genre. And then along comes High School of the Dead, a zombie apocalypse set in fucking high school. Shine on Japan, shine the fuck on. High School of the Dead is a 2010 anime done by Studio Madhouse, and follows the progression of a zombie apocalypse seen through the eyes of Takashi Komuro, who's basically a clone of Kazuki from Busa Ranking, but then again I'm pretty sure super serious spiky head high school boy takes up around 90% of all anime protagonists. Anyway, one day while Takashi is busy pondering why pinky promises made in elementary school don't equal guaranteed sex, and casually pretending to converse with a girl despite the fact that her face is up here and not down there, he bears witness to a zombie attack by what seems to be a zombie version of Bill from accounting. From there on, panic ensues at school as everyone gets involved in a massive biting frenzy, and before you know it, the whole school has become an infected pit of dead flesh before you can say,
"You've got red on you."
From here, Takashi must rise to the challenge as he forms a ragtag team of survivors and faces the biggest challenge of his life: trying to keep his fucking dick in his pants with a bloody sex parade constantly waving in his face 24/7, and maybe surviving the oncoming apocalypse in the process. The show plays out like your typical zombie survival story, with a group of unlikely heroes teaming up to battle hordes of the undead, wearing short skirts that cover about a millimeter of skin, while along the way hinting at the fact that the real monster in all this is instead mankind itself. And in the end, the cast is what you get if you cross a zombie apocalypse with your typical harem ecchi anime. You have Takeshi, who starts off as the unwilling spiky-haired hero who is thrown into a situation where he is forced to fight for survival and transforms into the confident, badass leader who's not afraid to kick ass and take names while occasionally asserting his authority by bitch slapping the odd girl. Ray, the annoying cock tease of a heroine who flips between bitchy stuck-up girl who just lost her boyfriend to helpless needy damsel in distress. So suffice to say, she needs the occasional bitch slap to keep her in line. And again. And again. And now, just because I can... Takagi, the brains of the group, who is the type of girl that will fuss over her makeup and try to look pretty and put on a strong facade in front of the guy she likes. But
yeah, the whole anime, it wasn't like really intelligent. Like to be fucking real. I watched it and I was like, yeah, it's really like if you want to watch something that really like doesn't fucking just pass you the time that you won't remember, probably you will remember it, but like for the wrong reasons. Like this is a good like quote unquote seasonal anime that you can like enjoy,
she
you know?
forgets that in real beauty, it's the inside that really counts. Her dreadful personality. Kota, the chubby nut who's secretly a badass with guns, giving the viewer some hope that all that time dicking around a Call of Duty may actually come in useful one day. Sayako, the badass swordswoman who happens to think that dressing like a porn star is the most practical battle attire, a lolicon because there wasn't enough pandering in the show, and finally, now if you've heard anything about this show or its infamous reputation, you may be expecting me to rip it to new bollocks, so allow me to surprise some of you by saying in some ways I actually enjoyed this anime, in the sense that it was just pure mindless fun.
It is still well animated. It is the action is really good. Like it's still good enough. Like you typical seasonal anime that you watch, and you know that like it's good enough to watch. It's not good enough to fucking like
Yes, characters were typical, story predictable and completely shallow, but it never tries to hide what it's trying to be and does exactly what it says on the tin, with the tin saying hot high school girls fighting hordes of zombies with plenty of blood wearing skimpy school uniforms. P.S. This is a popcorn flick through and through and makes no attempt to disguise it. The plot is nothing we haven't seen before in previous zombie flicks, but it does well to portray the panic during the rise of the zombie infestation and post-apocalypse. This keeps us interested in what happens and how society breaks down in a dying world. Characters are pretty much one-dimensional and are only really there to fill in their stereotypical roles of kicking ass, flashing skin, or being fucking useless. But honestly, you don't go into a summer blockbuster expecting Oscar material, and its best points, it's a fun and entertaining show to watch. Animation is top notch, which is especially evident during the very well executed
absolutely
action scenes, in which all of the high school kids apparently tap into their inner B-movie action hero and spontaneously transform into the cast of The Expendables. With tits.
This is kind of why I compared it to a Tarantino, because like technically like the action scenes and stuff, they're legit. They're really good.
This resulted in some heart-pounding, over-the-top, balls-to-the-walls action reminiscent of my experience with Black Lagoon, another series done by Madhouse where the action scenes were stupid, defied the laws of physics and were ridiculous to look at, yet were bloody awesome. Hold on a second. Over-the-top action, a cast of stupidly attractive female characters, explosions, a scene with the president. This is a Michael Bay movie.
I stayed up late on the night before the...
No, wait. It needs some Linkin Park.
I stayed up late on the night before the day everything came to an end.
Mr. President, you have to enter the code. Fire! What the fuck's going on?
Now, of course, there's no way to go through this review without talking about the fan service, so as for that, I thought I said all I needed to about ecchi shows in my Ikitotion review, but with High School of the Dead, it's a slightly different case, since if it went without the borderline pornography, it wouldn't totally suck, no pun intended. See, the show itself is actually quite well done, and without the fan service, it would have been a respectably entertaining series, but any chance of it getting taken seriously is thrown out the window when the creators thought to themselves, you know what, we could create a fun yet respectable anime that takes a serious look at a post-apocalyptic zombie-infested world, but fuck that. This is going to be watched by guys. Guys have dicks like these, so let's throw them a bunch of tits and wait for our big pile of money. This results in some of the most distracting and downright annoying ounces of fan service that breaks any kind of immersion you may have had in any serious scene. See, as much as I like to rant about fan service, I'm all for it as long as it doesn't get in the way of the actual good stuff. And in High School of the Dead, they wave it in your face whatever the setting, context, or tone a scene may be.
Yeah, there's way too much of it. There's way too much of it. It's basically an ecchi anime, so an ecchi anime, right? But set in the zombie apocalypse, and it's just like, so about ecchi animes, usually they're set up in like cute high school or whatever the fuck, but like not somewhere like they mix like two stuff, and it's like, yeah, you remove this, there could have been like a fucking like maybe some more to that. Well, like, if you watched it, you, even if it was like a long time ago, you remember how fucking annoying it was, and you're like, what the fuck?
Creating what I'm pretty sure what is a new concept in modern cinematography of the classic breast eye view shots. No matter what's going on, the camera angle is always situated at the most revealing position possible. And on a side,
The cameraman that like they recruited were actually too small. That's why.
note, my belts are longer than these fucking shorts. Where was I again? Oh yeah, breasts. Every breast in the show seems to have their own physics engine. By that, the anime completely ignores an old invention called the bra. Boobs are almost large enough to collapse in on themselves to create a singularity, and each individual boob has a mind of its own, with the slightest nudge apparently signaling the start of a breast rave party. And also, tits cannot do this, I think. And this is a real shame, because there is
They can, well, like,
There's a lot of good in the show, which is easily overshadowed by the fucking tits waving in your face. For the subject of dubs or subs, this is a tricky one actually. On one side, the sub is just better acted, but on the other hand, the dub is just a lot more fun. You can tell the translators were having fun since the script is heavily rewritten, adding a variety of pop culture references from Romero films to Sarah Palin jokes. I'm not even joking. And also adding the word fucked every few sentences. So take your pick. Would you rather have a more refined, better acted version, or one that doesn't take itself too seriously and is just having fun? Because as we know, adding the word fuck makes everything cooler and funnier.
It's fucking Sunday, and I've got to go to fucking work in 4 fucking hours because every other fucker in my fucking department is fucking ill. Now can you see why I'm so fucking angry? Fuck yeah!
Overall, High School of the Dead was a mixed bag of fun. It really is nothing but mindless entertainment, but it knows what it is and never tries to be anything more than that. So, if you've got some time to waste and want to watch zombies getting splattered to some well animated and choreographed action scenes, then go right ahead. Just make sure you have your fan service filters on because you will get exposed to so much of this shit, your body is sure to start an immunity against it. Currently, High School of the Dead is licensed by Sentai Filmworks and is available through legal streams at Netflix, Hulu, or the Anime Network. And just in case you're one of those twats who skip right to the end of the review to see the score without actually watching it, well, here's my review in a nutshell.
Yeah, this is High School of the Dead was like really an odd one, but like another one that a lot of people that watched anime actually watched. And yeah, basically like really really an odd one. Really, it's just like there is nothing left to other to say than like it was an odd one.